And off we go. Which anybody would like to begin?
Oh, what chapter are we on, Alphabet?
Chapter
Chapter 13.
13 of Dialogues.
Chapter 13.
In
What,
dialogue.
what's the title of the chapter?
Sharing and refinement, and so on.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't listening.
Have you got a PDF, Sam?
I have it on Kindle.
Yeah, I've got page 440 if that helps.
I'll find it. Just a matter of
Sharing and refinement of your means of expressing what you know is a mouthful title.
Mm,
Any luck?
yes, found it.
Okay.
Found it.
Well, if you like to begin, that'd be also amazing.
Okay. Chapter 13.
Mm-hmm.
Sharing and refinement of your means of expressing what you know. There is no danger in this time that you will know the truth and then discover that you were wrong.
It's true.
You know the difference between certainty and uncertainty and are far more likely to err, especially in the beginning, in discounting what you know rather than in being adamant in the pro proclamation of what you know. But this desire to proclaim what you know will grow in you. And while you will not be wrong in what you know, you have you may have difficulty in understanding exactly what it is you have discovered. And you may have difficulty in expression of what you know, especially as what you know grows beyond the realm of mind and body, form and time. What you will be coming to know in this new way of discovery will be coming to you from the state of unity, from a state you share with all at the level of Christ consciousness, but but that may literally not be shareable with those who remain in separate state except through the sharing of who you are and who you know others to be. There are two, there are two issues of great importance. There are two issues of great import contained within this statement, and we will explore each separately. I continue. The first is that what you will be discovering, the first is what you will be discovering, what you will become to know will be coming to you from the state of unity, which is a shared state. Although what you will be coming to know is already known to you, it will still come in the form of a surprising discovery, a joyous discovery of the previously known but long forgotten identity of the self and all that lives along with you. This knowing will, for a while yet, be surprising because it will be reversing the insanity of your life as you know it thus far. These reversals will be among the first revelations and will seem quite simple and pleasing as they enter your awareness, but they may come to be seen as quite complicated as you begin the practice of living with what you come to know. I think I'll end there.
What is known to you in an instant through the new means available to you within the state of unity will seem at times to need to be learned anew in daily living. This is knowing that will often come in a flash and is, in a sense, a humorous metaphor for the idea of a divine ray of light descending and granting enlightenment. Take another look at your Bible for many stories such as these, and you will read account after account of people who did not know how to live with what they came to know, with what was received in a ray of light from within the state of unity. What comes of unity is in union and thus is whole. What comes of unity is in union and thus is whole. Therefore, the knowing that will be coming to you will be given in a state of wholeness. You have previously learned of everything in parts and details and particulars. While you are perfectly capable of coming to know in wholeness a way that is actually natural to you, it will seem so foreign at times that you will feel blinded by the light of knowing. You will realize that you know something you did not know before in form, that it is important, monumental even, but you will be unable to see this knowing, to envision it in the world of separation, to translate it into the language of the separated self. You will know that this knowing must be shared. And yet you will not at first fully realize that this sharing is not needed so much as a means of imparting important knowledge to others, but so that you can come to understand it. What comes of union is a knowing that exists in relationship. Once you have attained a state of being able to sustain Christ consciousness, this will no longer be a problem because you will constantly abide in awareness of the relationship of unity. But until this state is achieved, you will move in and out of states of awareness of the relationship of unity.
Wow, this is beautiful, huh? Mm.
Shall I read?
Sure.
This need not overly concern you, as it will not affect you as it did those of the past, because you are living in the time of Christ, a time when no intermediaries are needed or required. Thus, you are not called to become an intermediary trying to bridge the knowing of the separated self and the self of union. What you are called to do is to share in union with others whose awareness is expanding. You have been told and told again that you are not alone, and this has been among the biggest hurdles of many of you to overcome, because your state of aloneness is all you have known. This perceived state is synonymous with the personal self, with the idea of individuality, with separate thoughts, and with the idea that no one will ever be able to truly know you. But join with others who are experiencing the expanding awareness of the time of Christ, and you will begin to see the evidence that things are different now. Join with others who are coming to know through the state of unity, and the evidence to the contrary will be overwhelming. You will begin to truly understand that you are not alone and separate, and that even the coming to know of the state of unity is a shared coming to know, a coming to know in relationship. Mm.
Yeah, this is where we begin to join and actually feel the joining. Actually feel it. Actually feel like, oh my God, I feel like we're one. We're like we're united. And that's quite intense. I'm sure many of you had little glimpses of it at certain points. But yeah. Anyone want to share about any of that?
Oh, I've had that experience several times lately, just talking to people. I met a man at the market, and I I don't even know how it happened. I was just in flow.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't trying. I just met this man at the market, and he said his mum's dying and she's got 2 weeks to go, and he she's been given 2 weeks, and he said, oh, I don't know whether to go over because she can't even talk anymore. And I was just able to say, you can just sit there and be in a peaceful state, and it'll be communicated to her.
Beautiful.
I didn't have to think about it, and he understood what I was saying. We ended up talking about A Course of Love. And then he said, is that something to do with the Course in Miracles? But it was like, it was orchestrated. It wasn't me doing anything. It just kind of happened.
Yes.
And then I've got a house. I had a housemate because I've just moved, but we were talking yesterday, and she's a Christian who can't find a church that she fits in. And, she's got a deep relationship with Jesus, and she's got her own understanding, but she really understands that this is one thing that's happening worldwide. It's one thing, there's an opening happening. And I'm able to talk about that with her too when it comes up. And she just gets it, it's
Yes.
It's nice.
Beautiful. Yeah. For me, it's like getting used to not saying anything and be with another and allow the a subtle discomfort of not exchanging information, but just being together.
Mm.
Because, perception is not an attribute of God. And so every time we start talking, I can feel, even when I'm united with somebody, the minute the words come in, and it could sound even aligned with some teachings, but they do reduce this natural expansion. That's one thing I found. Is like, it allows us to be silent. Sometimes I even close my eyes and I feel even more connected to another.
Mm.
Like we in a place of not judging anything because you can't see anything. The Christ of the heart sees the other better. So like, how both courses say that, like it really doesn't depend on your eyes, right? On your physical eyes. And it's so true because the vision is got nothing to do with the eyes. Vision's got something to do with seeing with the inner one eye, the eye you are, the eye you is.
But when you feel that, it's so palpable and alive, isn't it? Like it's
So,
so different to normal.
and it's
Yeah.
like that. What he's saying is like it's almost like it's gonna take a moment to get used to, and not trying to make it too much sense out of it. Because the minute
Mm.
you start labeling it with something, which I just did anyway, but this is what we have at the moment. We have, still use a language. He uses a language, but yeah, that becomes a normal thing. Even you, Alison, speaking of that experience with that man,
Mm.
like I could possibly imagine a guy you're talking to, but what I could feel and what touched me the most was that I could feel your experience of it. So the transference of that experience came into my awareness, minus the story almost.
Mm.
And the story is
Yeah.
great and it fills in the little things, but the essence of that moment where you just met and you also had this very similar situation where your mom passed away and he was about to, like, you could understand so much
Yeah.
more of that situation, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, there were several things actually, and just like there was just a connection there. It was
Beautiful.
like what do you call it?
Mm.
Like an intersection. Like a multi-dimensional intersection.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So yeah. Um,
And even as
but
you said that, mhm,
I've also been finding in my reading lately at home, just on my own, that I am slipping into the experience he's describing as he describes it. I'm just able to just slide into it. It's becoming more comfortable.
I think it
It's
will be
becoming
also,
less effortful.
yes, it will become because, you were struggling a lot, before. And now that's like gone past. Now you're way more in peace, right? Like
Mm,
you don't have to organize and be there and do this and do that. Suddenly you go like, oh, you're catching up with yourself. And it's written all over your face, darling. It radiates. Even these eyes begins to see that there is a certain like that you more there. Because when
mm.
we stress, like I could have a most amazing light, and next moment I wake up with a bit of a headache, and there's no light when I have a headache. It's just none. It's like,
Mhm.
because I'm having a grievance with a headache. So there, beautiful. Sam, Mike, you say something now.
Uh, well, it just is interesting for me to hear you say about this being quietness which makes you more connected
Yeah.
than when we chat, a lot.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the Christ consciousness is in that quietness, in that silence, that the truth is that you are light,
Yeah.
just at that level. And I was playing with this phrase from a James Bond movie I watched. It says, "Live and let die." What I meant was this: live the Christ consciousness, which is the quietness, and
Mhm.
let that one die.
Yeah.
Let this chattering mind die, you
Mm.
know.
Yeah.
And you find it, like even sometimes when you're in the meetings and stuff like that, people like to talk, a lot, like they
Yeah.
say this, but let it die,
Yes.
and you'll see yourself more connected to to reality.
That's true. And what we're talking about is because sometimes you can be in this silence and it's just dead.
Mm-hmm.
It's a dead silence. But there is
Yeah.
no connection. It's just like, oh, we are so quiet now. Hello. But it's
Mm-hmm.
like nothing's going on. Like there is not like that sense of exquisite oneness where your heart melts. And it's can you see the difference?
Mm-hmm.
Because perceptual mind can sit in silence. It's just like that when I read what is the peace of God? Because it's like, I'm just in the peace of God.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you really? So when you look at what is the peace of God, it actually talks to about an experience that's incomparable to anything you know. That is the
Mm-hmm.
peace of God. And it's very different than having little chimes going on and little river passing by and going like, "Oh, I'm in a peace." No, you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Not
Yeah, there's a
necessarily.
difference between an absence of conflict that you find somehow by stilling your mind
That's
and
it.
an actual experience of peace.
Yes, like just like he says in here, like you enter unity and then you learn from unity. And when
Yeah.
you learn from unity and you meet somebody who also knows unity, you just go, "Hello," you know, I know you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I had an experience at a party I went to recently. It was a kung fu thing. And I'd met one of the fellows has a yoga school and he gave us a free class quite a few months ago. And I met his wife and it was just an automatic, I don't know, just
Hmm.
felt connected with her. And then she came to the party with her brother and the same thing happened with her brother. And I thought, oh, this is interesting. Like I feel the very same, I
Hmm.
don't know what, I can't describe what it is, but this sort of joining thing was so lovely. I thought, oh,
Yeah.
it's
And it's just
interesting.
that very thing.
Yeah,
That's why I keep on going on
yeah,
about feelings, because when you feel it and you are actually open, because see, sometimes you can feel and you still can have a protecting wall there. So it's not,
yeah,
you're not making the feelings visible,
right.
right? You still feel it. You're still in an experience, but there is that whole idea of like sharing it, which means the
Mm,
wall is no longer there, and
mm,
you're vulnerable enough to expand your heart. You go like, "Hey, here I am." So there's like a slight distinction. That's the only reason I'm talking about it. Because you can sit in just no speaking and it's not necessarily going to be radiating anything.
yeah, yeah. Well, we were speaking, but it was
Mm-hmm.
a different kind of speaking to other
Different
people,
kind of speaking,
you
exactly.
know. Yeah, and it just straight away went there to this
Beautiful.
way of speaking, and yeah, it was lovely, so lovely. And then it wasn't happening with anyone else,
Well, that's the
so
difference, right? Like you
yeah,
were
yeah,
begin to find, and I tell you, if you find, like I always say, like if you find as many people as you have fingers on your hands in a whole lifetime where it's just a perfect unity, you know, that's not
yeah.
going to be that many where it just really happens so exquisitely and particularly happens on a permanent basis.
Oh, well, I don't feel the need to like see these people again. Like if we
Sure.
meet again, fine. It was just lovely in itself, you know, like I didn't feel any need to try and grasp onto anything. It was just lovely the way it unfolded, and that's all. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. So let's continue reading. Where did we finish?
We're up to 13.9.
Have you finished, Kim?
Oh, yeah, I read a couple if someone else wants to go. Otherwise, I can keep reading.
Go.
Okay.
Just as you were taught that you could not learn on your own, you are now being told by one who knows that you also do not come to the knowing in a state of unity alone. Yeah. Why then would you think that you could come to full expression of what you have come to know without sharing in relationship? Partial expression? Yes. But that partial expression will bear the mark of your perspective. And that is why partial truth is never whole truth, why the whole truth is the only truth. Sharing in relationship is what the state of unity is all about. This is what it is. Beautiful, huh?
It is what it is.
It is what it is. We come now to the second part of what we are exploring together here. The idea that what you come to know may literally not be shareable with those who remain in a separate state, except through the sharing of who you are and who you know others to be. Beautiful. All this means is that while you may feel unable to share or express all that comes to you from unity, and while you may feel unable to share or express the authority and truth you know it represents, the truth you know it represents, you will, by living according to what you know to be the truth, from the very relationship and union. A form. Good. Please. Form the very relationship and union that will allow the truth to be shared. Relationship or union, in other words, precedes the sharing of what can be given and received in relationship. This is why we were told specifically not to evangelize or attempt to convince. These are actions of the separated self attempting to fulfill intermediary functions. Relationship or union is what negates the need for such intermediary functions. By being who you are and seeing others as who they truly are, you create the relationship in which sharing can occur. Yes, you create the relationship in which sharing can occur. With that relationship, there is no willingness and no union. Without a relationship, you behave as a separate self, attempting to communicate union from a state of separation. This does not work. Join with your brother and sister in Christ. However, sharing becomes effortless and joyful and effective. Cause and effect become one. Means and end the same. Beautiful. Mm.
I like that sentence in paragraph 13.12, which starts saying, by being who you are and seeing others as who they truly are, you create the relationship in which sharing can occur.
Mm.
And then it says, without relationship, there is no willingness and no union. So that sentence is sort of like the foundation of unity, of knowing, seeing your brothers and sisters as they truly are.
Yes.
And that's how you enter union and relationship. It reminds me of Course of Miracles, that section that talks about two pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, two pictures. There's always this frame, that hides everything.
Mm-mm-mm.
But
Mm.
you can see the true picture in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how you enter a Course of Miracles holy relationship.
Yes.
And that's the relationship I think that's talked about here.
Sam, did you find that after you read Course of Love, that the Course of Miracles got a brand new dimension?
What was the question again?
Did you notice that the difference when you read A Course of Love and then you went back to Course of Miracles, that it had a very different texture to it or different dimension of understanding of A Course of Miracles?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Same here. It's
You
like
know,
unbelievable.
amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like sometimes they explain each other.
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yes. I always felt like that the Course of Love gave punchlines to the Course of Miracles somehow.
Mhm.
As if it gave like in A Course of Miracles, Jesus needs you to train your mind. So he goes, in the future, you will, right? You will do this and you will achieve this. So it's kind of
Uh-huh.
putting it all into like, let me train you, let me train you. I can't give you the full Monty experience. It comes Course
Mhm.
of Love. So like, okay, now you're ready.
Mhm.
And miracles are needed. Clonk. You just go, shit. It's like, it's what
Yeah.
that was my experience. Like, oh, I got the punchline. It's like I got a punchline for every lesson there is, but it's not
Yeah.
like you can speak of it, right? It's just like it
Yeah.
becomes this inner knowing. And suddenly I could see the Course in Miracles from a place to which it was pointing to,
Mm-hmm.
you know? It's like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is so perfectly designed. Like, I just love the design of it too. It's incredible.
It's funny sometimes. I can't see how you can love either Course of Love or Course of Miracles without the other.
I know. Yes.
Yeah, it's like I don't
I
see
said
how.
to I said to that guy at the market something about A Course of Love. He said, "Is that to do with Course in Miracles?" Yes.
Yeah.
Like there's a definite connection. It's undeniable.
Mm.
Time to jump off a second.
Mm.
Mhm.
All right, guys. Shall we attempt to do chapter 14 as well? It's not that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3.5 pages. We can manage that. Thank you guys for sharing. That was beautiful. Mm.
Are you going to read, Chantal?
Yeah, sure.
It's
New
hiding.
frontiers beyond the body and mind, form and time. Discover,
Yeah.
discovery is more, of course, than the acceptance of your accomplishment and these beginning steps into the real state of unity. Discovery is also consistent with the way most of you have thought of it throughout your lifetime. It is, in other words, consistent with the action and the adventure of discovery within the world around you. Here, it will be helpful to keep in mind the idea of as within, so without. We are not leaving the self to explore because the self is the source and cause of exploration as well as the source and cause of discovery. And yet the self is far more than you have experienced as yourself in the past. The self is not separate from anything, not from anything in the physical world or anything in the state of unity. This is why the key to unlocking the secrets, all you might want to know before beginning the creation of the new, are the ideas not just explored. Ideas of how it is not of the body can still be known to you. And this is why this exploration and discovery needs to be invited and experienced before you become partners in the creation of the new. Let me remind you again of your invulnerability and the cautions given within this course concerning testing this invulnerability. In a certain sense, these cautions are now lessons. While you still are not to view your invulnerability as a testing ground against faith, you will, to a certain extent, need to remember your invulnerability in order to be a real expert and to fully participate in this discovery that lies beyond the body and mind, form and time. You will need to put into practice the suspension of belief that was spoken of earlier. You will need, in short, to set aside the known in order to discover the unknown.
Thanks for the insanity. Would you like to do something other than this shit? It's a real abrasive fucking.
What were you saying, Andy?
Sorry. No, sorry. I was supposed to be on mute.
Oh,
I got busted. That's what happened then. I got busted in a bad moment. I'm having a time of it just even getting connected. I'm sorry.
Hey,
Sorry
no
about that.
worries at all. We're just checking in. I thought you were like expressing something.
Yeah, taking it away. I am, but it's not in an edifying sort of way. So it's not gonna push you. It's not gonna elevate you. But thank you all the same.
Oh, you might be
well,
surprised.
it might. It might.
Hey,
You might
It
be
might
surprised.
elevate us.
Yeah. And your level of
you,
honesty goes a long way. Oh my God. Beautiful. All righty. Where are we now?
14.5.
Kevin, you're not reading today? Cool, no worries. Anthony, you reading?
No, I'm going to drive.
All
I'm
right.
driving.
Or maybe go back to Allison then.
do you want me to read? Do you want me to read? Soon as I'm officially
Yeah.
vocal now.
Mhm.
Can someone just point me to where we are? And
Chapter 14, page 482.
482.
And we're up to paragraph
5.
14.5. Yeah.
5. Paragraph 5.
Paragraph 5, thank you. Anthony will probably appreciate where my mind is at because he's in the moving state of moving as well, I believe. So, from what I got from our conversation when he was in Nelson. So, here we go.
We're all there's 3 of us moving. Oh my God.
Oh,
It's chaotic on every level, even before you have a 3-year-old in the situation. All right, I would suggest beginning this exploration with simple questions posed during the course of your normal life. Questions such as, what might this situation look like if I forgot everything I had previously known about similar situations and looked at this in a new way? It's like he's talking to me.
Yeah. Yes.
Question such as, do I really need to worry about this situation? Or can I affect this situation simply by not worrying about it and allowing it to be and unfold as it will? Yeah. Questions such as, while I realize that the facts would tell me this or that is true, I wonder what would happen if I disregarded the facts and was open to this being something else. And I'm just going to put myself on video because I didn't mean to have myself off. Can anyone see me? Am I there? No.
Looking good, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
You've just muted yourself, Andy.
There I am. Okay, made it. Made it only an hour late, but I'm off mute and I'm on camera. I'm kicking goals. While I realize that the facts would tell me that this or that is true, I wonder what would happen if I disregarded the facts and was open to this being something else. These questions could be asked in situations as commonplace as balancing the checkbook, or as momentous as a doctor's diagnosis of a disease. These questions could be asked when decision making seems to be called for, or when plans seem to need to be made. Do we want to stop there, or do we want the next one as well? There's a lot in that. A lot for me. One of the major benefits of questions such as these is that they can circumvent the usual thinking you would apply to these situations. They can circumvent the labeling of many situations as problems or crises. They can leave the way open for revelation. So a little bit like when you're getting busted off mute, when you think you're on mute, when you can't get your Bluetooth connection to work, so that you can hang out your washing and catch a bit of good stuff at the same time.
Mm.
Open to revelation. Really good.
Yeah, it's like, what would be the new way of reacting to being busted?
Well, normally shame.
Yeah, but what would be the new way?
What would be the new way? Well, I guess let's just talk in real terms. In that situation, I was like, well, okay, we're here. It's happening.
Yeah.
I could hide away. I could just mute and disappear, or I could just front up and say,
Declare it. Beautiful.
I'm not doing well. I'm not traveling well. I got a lot of fear in my life, and it looks like there's more coming. And I meet it on a nightly basis, and I go through, and this course has been amazing and been life-changing for me. And then I feel like I've reached a ceiling, and I've come up to this episode in my life, and I feel like I just can't lose the fear. Just can't. Even sometimes it's not even thought. Sometimes it's just there in me. But yeah. So that's me. Sorry,
Yeah.
you didn't ask for that, but that's I'm I know it, and yet I can't seem to get beyond it. But
Then
it is interesting.
we can just apply the second question to the fear now. Do I really need to worry about this situation with fear? Or can I affect this situation simply by not worrying about it and allow it to be and unfold as it will?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think that's an accident that I just appeared there and had to read that chapter.
It's perfect.
No.
It's exactly, that's it. It's perfect.
If I can just for a moment share something, and I know I'm rattling on, and but Tony Robbins, I always avoided Tony Robbins. I thought he was a bit too much. But I've sort of investigated him later in life, and actually he's got some good stuff. And
Awesome stuff.
and he's one of his things is FEAR is an acronym for false evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
That's good, eh?
But you
Because
got, but when you look at the fear, let me just pause you right there. It's not saying, oh, this is just not something that's appearing, but with fear, because it's very specific. And if you don't look at it, it remains.
Yeah.
So I'd say, look at that fear, because it's alone. It's some fearful part that's just getting lost somewhere. It's disunified from the unity, right? So it's scared. Hey, meet it up and say, hello, fear. What if you just allowed it rather than trying to get rid of it?
Yeah.
Just allow yourself to be fearful. Like approaching it with a new way, not the old strategy like, oh God, not the fear again, right? We're going like, hello, fear. How is your day? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And just meeting it with loving acceptance and embrace, even so, he says it's either love or fear. But it doesn't really mean like if it's fear that you get rid of it. You just go like, oh, it's fear. God, what do I do now? And you don't feel it. You don't wait for an answer from your mind. You just go, what do I do now with this fear?
Okay.
You begin to see it for what it is. And then it disappears. Then you see, oh, this was this. And it just, by seeing what it really is, it vanishes. Therefore, it wasn't real, but it is real if it's scaring you.
Carl Jung used to say, resist and it persists. Resist
Exactly.
and it persists. Look
Yeah.
at it and it disappears.
Yes.
I don't know. That's
Yeah.
from another book, but that's basically it. Yeah, and your voice was going through my head this morning, Carl, when I woke up all anxious and talking about just loving those emotions that you're not very comfortable with,
Exactly.
trying to
Because you
trying to
basically
love
separated within
unconditionally.
your, yes, you separated within yourself, you see? Like it's
Yeah,
you, the good one, and that emotion, the bad one. And now you're living in a state of good and evil, and you kick yourself out of paradise by doing it because you divided yourself into two rather than
yeah.
being pure unity that you are. So you disunited. So actual at one man, you become one with everything in you. That's forgiveness.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Good, bad, ugly, and magnificent.
Yeah, I mean, I've definitely got I've definitely got trust issues where it comes to, the spiritual guidance that I've received in my life, and that it's easy to sort of put that in an evil and good sort of sense
Yeah.
because you're looking at the results rather than I guess the deeper journey. Um, but anyway, false evidence appearing real, and the other thing I got, which was really handy, which ties right into this, is I think Mel Robbins, it must be his wife, was saying, look, these 6 words are going to change your life. What if it what is it? I got to get it right. What if it actually turns out okay?
Mm-hmm. And usually always have, hasn't it?
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
it hasn't, then it was a good learning experience.
In the past, yeah, but in the future, nah, no way. You know,
Well, fear is
that
always of the future, right? Because you
yeah,
imagine things going wrong, but it's just imagination. It's not you. It's just this tiny little thing that goes like, it's going to be doom. And that thing is false.
yeah. So she's actually paraphrasing these two paragraphs, really. What if it actually turns out okay?
Yeah, exactly.
Dare yourself, dare yourself to actually think, what if what if something good happens? You
Yeah,
know?
exactly. What if something magnificent happens? Yeah, exactly. See, or it's kind of like, oh, this is exciting. You stop resisting the, you know.
Yeah.
Sam,
Were you gonna say something?
Yeah, every time I hear the word fear, from all for the years I've been with Course Miracles, it just means separation.
Hmm.
Just that your separation, and one of the lessons in Course of Miracles teaches that there's only one problem,
Hmm.
and that is separation.
Yeah.
And can you imagine, like, you just being separated from God terrifies you. You're basically terrified because you think you're alone and everything. That's where all the fear stems from.
Yeah.
And when you look at the world, you're terrified because you always think you're alone. So if you can understand you are not alone, you are one with God, then that's how you cure fear. Fear. It's non-existent. Uh, so I just replace fear with separation
Mm-hmm.
because that's the only problem you have. There are not so many, just one.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how you define it.
And also, it's like when you're up here, it will be very fearful. But drop
Hmm.
into your heart right now, like just go. Vah. She looks up. Look down. Go there. Where the heart is. Like, hey, hello, heart. See, like there, smile right away. Instantaneously. You go up, you go into misery. You go in, you join with your whole self. And once you feeling connected to your whole self, you're experiencing wholeness, which is the same as God, really. Chantal, is it you having your hand up? All right, guys, let's get on with this. Let's finish this so we complete this whole chapter.
Yeah, thanks, Andy. That
Sharing,
was
guys.
beautiful
Yeah,
sharing.
sorry to slow things
Yeah.
down, but I mean, it's just
No,
it's a bit of real
it was
life for you.
It's nice to be able to see you on this group, Andy, and hear you.
yeah,
It's
it was
nice.
lovely to hear that. It was lovely. Yeah.
I know everything's got to line up for me just to get on. Thank you.
That gorgeous smile of yours when you connect to your heart.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Andy. Thank
Yeah.
you. Hello to you.
Oh, Chantal.
Hmm.
All right, let's move on. What was the next one? Who is reading next? I think it's me. Oh no, Sam.
Sam.
14.7. We're up to.
Mute there. It has been said often that revelation is of God. But remember now that God is not other than, and that the God who seemed to distant from you when you abided in separation can now be heard and seen and felt in your experiences of unity. Your openness will not only leave the way open for revelation, but for cooperation. Cooperation comes from the all of all being in harmony and relationship. When this harmony and relationship isn't realized or accepted, is when you believe you have need of planning rather than receiving. When you believe you have cause for stress and effort rather than for just being open to what comes.
Mm.
Your awareness of the harmony and cooperation that naturally extend from the state of unity in which all exists along with you was advanced by the idea of acceptance you took to heart earlier and paves the way for discovery as a constant coming to know and coming to be. Coming to know is the precursor of coming to be. I like that. I'll read that again. Coming to know is the precursor of coming to be, the precursor to manifestation, the precursor to creation of the new. It paves the way much as each step of learning that was needed in the time of learning paved the way for the next and then the next. But while I say much as, this is only to provide you with a way to understand this. For learning is incremental and discovery is not. Learning took place in parts in an effort to lead to wholeness. Discovery comes to you in wholeness. So these steps are not about parts or levels, but about the expansion of the awareness of what is. Let's stop there. I'll stop there.
Great. Was I next?
Yeah.
To expand is to open out, to spread out, to increase, to become. It is for us about bringing out what is within. Da-da-da. Yes. As you become aware within yourself, you enable the expansion of awareness into the world. As within, so without. An explorer seeking a new continent to discover first became aware within of the possibility of discovery of something more. The awareness within thus becomes awareness without. Becoming is all about movement into form and manifestation. You already are manifesting form. And so the idea of becoming that has been with humankind through times must signal a recognition that what you are is not complete, has not yet become whole, yet not been fully birthed. Your forms are complete in a physical sense of sustaining life. Your form was birthed, and you have celebrated many birthdays since your actual birth, progressing from youth to adolescence to maturity, as well as many days of birthing new aspects of the self, all without becoming more fully who you are. Again, these ideas can be likened to ideas put forth in a treatise of unity and its recognition, when it was said that a treasure that you do not as yet recognize is going to be recognized. Once recognized, it will begin to be regarded as an ability. And finally, through experience, it will become your identity. The treasure is the new way of thought put forth in a treatise of the art of thought, the thought that is the miracle or miracle readiness, the thought that comes of unity and that extends and expresses itself through your form, thus elevating self of form. It is awareness, acceptance, and discovery of what is beyond form that allows the beginning of the transformation of what is beyond form into expression in form.
That's too much for me, Cole. Can you read that again?
No.
Can you read it a bit slower? I'm finding I couldn't keep up with that last bit.
Okay, sweetheart. Where shall I return to?
That treasure.
Um,
in the middle of the paragraph.
What paragraph number is that?
13.
Just can't see it.
It's
Does it start with treasure, like the sentence starts with treasure?
That treasure.
the fourth sentence.
Oh, yeah. That treasure is a new way of thought put forth in a treatise of the art of thought. The thought that is the miracle or miracle mindedness. The thought that comes of unity and that extends and expresses itself through your form. Thus, elevating the self of form. It is awareness, acceptance, and discovery what is beyond form that allows the beginning of the transformation of what is beyond form into expression in form. Awareness, acceptance, and discovery are, in short, what allow form to become the more it has so long been seeking to become. Wow. Mm-hmm. Who's the next?
I'll go. Thus, what is discovered in the state of unity. It is discovered by means of your awareness of your access to the state of unity, as well as by what you discover there, and only becomes through the expression you give it. Here, becomes could be stated further as what becomes known and shareable in relationship, what becomes actualized through the expression of thoughts, feelings, art, beauty, kind interactions, or miracles. What is real in the state of unity is what is real. Yet you have known this reality not, even though it is the more subtle memory of this state that is beyond your striving to become.
Behind. That is behind your striving.
That is, what did I say?
Beyond.
That is behind your striving. Okay. What is real in the state of unity is what is real. Yet you have known this reality not, even though it is the more subtle memory of this state that is behind your striving to become. Now you are beginning to see the vastness of what is meant by creation of the new. What is meant by creation of the new is creation of a new reality. Okay, Kim?
Okay. This reality begins with awareness of what is beyond body and mind, form and time. It proceeds to this awareness being accepted, adopted as an ability, and then to becoming your new identity. It proceeds to the transformation we have spoken of, to the act of becoming the elevated self of form. You are thus entering the time of becoming, the time of becoming the new you, which must precede creation of the new world. For as it has been said, as within, so without. Being whole is being present. Being whole is being all you are. Being whole is being present as all you are. When this occurs, you are all in all, one in being with your Father. Oh,
Beautiful.
this wholeness of being is what lies beyond body and mind, form and time. Becoming the elevated self form is becoming whole.
Yes.
And will be the way in which source and cause transform body and mind, form and time.
Da-da-da.
Oh,
Yeah, beautiful, huh?
yeah, yeah.
It's like that, like it's suddenly you enter the kingdom of it all. And it's not like you're not bored, for sure.
It just seems to me, Cole, it's just seems to me that it's just an allowance of what is.
Yes.
That's all.
It
It's
is.
just
Mm,
not getting in
yes.
the way.
Yes. Even like that whole idea of individuality, like there's no one like Alison, you know? And when we start seeing the beauty of it all, you know, like we all have these amazing gifts to give. Like, Course in Miracles talks about the abilities that come naturally as you forgive. That is your like all particular individual makeup. Now you come with your makeup and someone else comes with their makeup and you go like, wow, let me check that makeup and let me share my makeup. And then you create something brand new out of those two. Rather than killing each other, you go like, hey, what's the beauty? Hmm?
Yeah.
Mm.
Like you could even ask somebody here, go like, hey, look at somebody here and says, what is their gift that you get every week you come here? What is the gift? Now your focus is on something that's good and beautiful, right? And
Yeah.
when you see it, you will actually realize that that gift is already in you because you feel it.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of wanting it to be something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Or even saying, like, the beauty I see in you is, and it just
Mm.
free focuses you into looking what's the beauty of the other person? What's the radiant, godlike aspect? What is the Christ like? See, like Chantal, look at her. See? The light has come, you know?
Mm.
We're going to say something, Chantal?
No.
She was just becoming as little children.
She said it all just by going like, hello, everyone.
Mm.
And ta-da, beautiful. Yeah, and feel that. Like, yeah, it's like a nourishment. Yeah, beautiful. Well, thank you, darlings. What a gorgeous little time to spend together.
Hey, Chantal, when are you coming to New Zealand?
January, but I didn't realize Nelson is in the South Island.
Are
So
you not coming south?
no, I think
You
that's
know, I moved house just so that there'd be a guest room.
oh no.
No, I'm joking.
No, I would so love to come, but I don't think it's gonna happen South Island this time.
Oh, that's
Um,
that's disappointing. But
yeah. I have a friend come over from the Netherlands maybe next year or the one after, and then I'm gonna do South Island with her. So
South Island is
the best,
really beautiful.
top of the pops. Yeah. No, I looked into it as well. Like, can I take a ferry? But I think it takes quite a lot of time. So um, it will add 2 days onto already a short period.
Mm,
Yeah.
okay. Oh well, next time.
Yeah. Just let us know when you're in Sydney.
Yeah.
Yeah. All
Which
right.
part of Sydney are you in?
I'm just north on the central coast, north of Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah, and if anyone's coming to Byron Bay, give us a tingle. All right, sweethearts.
Oh, Andy's talking, but you're mute. You're on mute.
Technology. I love technology. Um, not coming to Byron Bay yet, but we are off to the Mornington Peninsula. So if anyone's down that way, I know Anthony is well nowhere near it,
Ah,
but might come and say hello. But
yeah.
I think a few of you guys are down that way.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh,
that's
when is that happening?
uh, not that I'm counting, but 13 days.
Oh,
Think you're on the other side, or you're in Torquay or something, aren't you?
No, I'm going to be in Rye.
Oh, right. Okay.
right. Oh.
Anyway, I think Cole wants to push end. I'm happy to keep talking, but I think he doesn't want this for posterity on YouTube.
Oh,
Is that right?
Enjoy Rye. It's so pretty there.
I got no
All
whatever.
right.
Yeah, my family has a little batch down there. It's the only way we can sort of come over and be in Melbourne with the housing the way it is. So that's going to be our base for a little while, and we're just going to try and make it up from there. We don't know what to expect. It's all a bit of an unknown, but we've got a move to worry about first, so we don't need to worry about that yet.
Yeah, beautiful.
What if it all turns out okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if it is already okay right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hasn't it always turned out that way, really? All
Yeah,
along, you know?
yeah, but
Yeah, Buddy, I love that one. Yeah.
Uh,
so anyway, that's happening.
So are you guys leaving New Zealand for good?
Well, for good is such a strong term, but
Um,
we're selling everything on marketplace, and we've given notice on our house, and we've got a one-way
yeah,
ticket. So in that sense, yeah,
mm,
we're gonna give Australia. I'm gonna give Australia another go. My partner's German, so it's all fresh and exciting for her. For me, it's more just like, oh
mm.
yeah, this is why I left. But yeah, it's just time, family, kids, grandparents, that sort of stuff. So
Yeah, excellent.
give the parents some good years, hopefully,
Mm.
before they go the same way as grandparents do. So that's it. That's our idea,
yeah.
and then try and work the rest out in the meantime. So,
Yes.
so
You'll
yeah,
love it. You'll love it.
permanent shift. Yeah, thank you.
Mm.
A lot of people in Melbourne, so
I know, right?
The
Can have
Mornington
5 million.
Peninsula is
Can have
lovely.
5 million
Yeah.
friends.
Mm. Mm.
No, it'll be good. It'll be great.
see, Kevin can't wait to meet you.
I know. He's been talking about it on Facebook all the time. I can't shut him up.
Nice.
Yeah, I think they're about half an hour for me.
Oh. And I'm in Frankston, so that's not that far either.
Nice.
How far is that from Rye?
Um, oh, I don't know.
Frankston, maybe 40
30, 40
minutes.
minutes.
Something like
Yeah.
Yeah,
40
not long
minutes.
on the freeway. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's Australian, not far.
Yeah. Not
That's
in
right.
Nelson. Not in Nelson anymore. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, lovely to hang out with you this morning.
Yeah. Bless you
Mm.
guys. Thanks for letting me
Lovely
crash the
night.
party in an unceremonious manner, but it's yeah, it's good to connect.
It was
Yeah.
beautiful. See you guys.
Yeah.
Okay. See you,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.